the basic definition. Godparents are persons chosen by either the one to be baptized or their parents to help in the spiritual formation of the godchild's new life in Christ. They serve roles in the liturgical celebration of the child's baptism. They may speak on behalf of the godchild in the renunciation of evil and commitment to Jesus as their Lord. The godparents also renew their own commitment to God at the same time. Then, throughout their lives, the godchild and godparent are in a spiritual relationship, strengthening their knowledge, love, and loyalty to God. The relationship will go both ways. The godparent is there for the child, but the godparent's faith will also be strengthened in the process. Godparents are a tradition because it has long been recognized that parents and the new Christians can use help. There is a lot of growth and development, both physically and in becoming a true and faithful follower of Jesus. So having a companion on the journey is important. In terms of history, there are several points to remember. Developing an understanding of God typically does not happen in isolation. Historically, for important events, 3 witnesses were present, and in Jesus' time, other believers brought their friends and family to meet him. Then, Christianity needed to be taken seriously. Jesus was killed for what he did and said, and after Jesus' death, the early Christians were also in danger. Parts of the Jewish sect and the Roman rulers found Christianity threatening their way of life. So Christians were often in hiding for fear of being killed, and therefore sponsors were needed to vouch for those interested in joining. Later, after 300 years of persecution to keep the peace, the civil rulers became more lenient, and the Roman ruler Constantine and his mother Helena actually converted to Christianity and began to promote the faith. Then in 380 AD, Christianity was made the official religion for the Roman Empire. The impact of these developments was to shift from baptism of adult converts, making a firm conviction for themselves and their families, to mostly the inclusion of the newly born children. Now, the actual word godparents has its roots from about the year 1000 AD. Before that, several words were used like sponsor, co-father, co-mother, guarantor, friend, surety. But the word that developed into godparent was from the Old English God-sib, a godly sibling or relative, a brother or sister in Christ, a fellow child of God. Now, think back to what it was like then in the Middle Ages. Lords and feudal systems, guilds, sacred relics, superstitions, and pilgrimages. But also plagues, barbarian invasions, shorter lifespans, and high infant mortality. So at that time, the godparents chosen were part of the extended family, and generally, if needed, they would actually raise the godchildren. Today, that concern is a legal matter rather than a religious one. Both then and now, the true importance of godparents is for the spiritual development of the child. Next, I want you to reflect on something important. Back then, the parents picked those closest to the family to be godparents, those who knew the parents and children better than others. They knew their strengths and weaknesses and all of their secrets. Can you perhaps guess another word that developed from the Old English gossip? Not godparents, but gossip. The misuse of private family concerns. This lesson from history is a reminder that godparenting role is a sacred one rather than a social one. The godparents will know the family's concerns, but the role is not to spread this information, but to share the information with God. Pray for inspiration about what to do when there are concerns. The godparents have been given a sacred trust. Their role is somewhat confidential in nature, both to assure the parents and the young child that you are trustworthy. You will need to be responsible enough that, when the time comes, the godchild can discuss things with you so you can help them process the concerns in light of Jesus' teachings.